Hello, in this video, join me as we continue to learn from this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and this is video number 17. Join me. Hello, welcome to Take a Step to a Better You. On this channel, I share what I know and continue to learn. If you are new, my name is Sherifa Nakalema. I'm a business owner here in Virginia, USA, and my videos are about business tips, YouTube tips, earning money online tips. I also record motivational videos just to encourage you to take a step to make your life better. Those are for everyone. And then recently, I also added reviewing books. We're doing Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And if all that sounds interesting, consider subscribing to this channel and sharing the messages and watching what I have already. This is 130, video 130. So for those of you who have been here with me, thank you so much. Could have been somewhere else. You chose to be here. And I appreciate you. Please support this message by sharing the videos and encouraging people to subscribe and to do all those good things, leaving comments. Okay, this is video number 17 of this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And we are finishing, finally, lesson 1, and it's chapter 1, lesson 1, and the lesson has been, the rich don't work for money. We are finally finishing it, and today I'm going to read a book, but I'm not going to skip much like I've done in the previous ones. Especially the most recent one, number 16, I skipped a lot. This time I'll skip just a little bit. But before we begin with the reading of the book, I always like to review. In fact, I will have to mention to the new ones. If you are watching me for the first time today, you hear I'm talking about video 17, you're wondering what that is. I started this book, and I started from the beginning, from telling the story of how I first knew about Rich Dad and Poor Dad and this book. And I've been recording videos daily. We are now on video number 17. So video number 1 to 16, I put the link. I actually put them in I call it a playlist of lessons learned from Robert Kiyosaki. And it's the playlist. It's also I put a link in the comment. I put a comment on top so that you can click and get to all of them, and the link at the end of this one. And the link in the description, you can't miss them. They are there. So, but for those who have been going with me, we are on video number 17. And like I always say, I have to always talk about Robert. Who is Robert? Robert is Robert Kiyosaki, the self-made millionaire, entrepreneur, educator, investor, who has a mission. By the way, these words come from the book. I got them out and I keep reading them. His mission is to elevate the financial well-being of humanity, starting with one life and one person at a time. I wish you could tell me what your takeaway is so far. For those who have been waiting, could you please put in the comments so far as we finish lesson 1? What's the biggest moment for you? Please, before you leave. Why is it called Rich Dad, Poor Dad? It's because Robert Kiyosaki learned his financial lessons, money lessons, from 2 dads. He watched his Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and then Rich Dad. Who was Poor Dad? Poor Dad was his real dad, who was very smart. He finished 4-year degree in 2 years. He had scholarships, and he went on to get a PhD, but he died broke. In fact, he was the superintendent of education. So it's a story that, because when you compare it to the Rich Dad is the one who was a dad to his friend Mike, Robert's friend Mike. They met at school, age 9, and he left school at age 13, 8th grade, which I don't recommend. And he ended up being one of the wealthiest men in Hawaii. I don't recommend that one. I always say, even the himself too, he's gonna say, he said it already, that he recommends that you finish school, although he didn't. But he ended up being a very wise man. So, where did we end on Number 16. Number 16, Rich Dad had asked the boys to learn to use their emotions to think and not to think with their emotions. That could be confusing, right? Like if someone said to you that use your emotions to think. Don't think with your emotions. That's what he said to them. Okay, and that's where the continuation begins, because what happens, as we start, this is number 17, I was just reviewing. 17 starts with, this time is Mike asking. Remember, this is a conversation has been going on. I'll not break it up so that we don't have videos that are too long. So the conversation has been going, and Mike is asking Rich Dad, who is his real dad, can you tell the difference between emotion thinking and the head thinking? Like thinking, the emotion thinking and thinking. Oh no. Can you tell the difference between emotions thinking and the head thinking? Mike asked. Oh yes, I hear it all the time. Rich Dad is responding. I hear things like, well, everyone has to work, or the rich are crooks, or I'll get another job, or I deserve this raise, or you can't push me around, or I like this job because it's secure. No one asks, is there something I'm missing here? Which would break through the emotional thought and give you time to think clearly. So he was explaining the difference there. And then here Robert writes, as we headed back to the store, remember all this time they've sat at the park. Rich Dad was talking to the boys, or I think the past 3 videos. As we headed back to the store, Rich Dad explained that the rich really did make money. They did not work for it. He went on to explain that when Mike and I were casting 5-cent pieces out of lead, thinking we were making money, we were very close to thinking the way the rich think. The problem was that creating money is legal for the government and banks to do, but illegal for us to do. There are legal ways to create money from nothing, he told us. So here he explained so many things, including the gold standard and how everything works. I'll skip that, because even Robert says that we did not understand what he was saying that day. But over the years, it made more and more sense. So I skipped it. He's explaining the currency and the gold standards and all that stuff. If you have a physical copy, you'll be able to read that. Okay, we're continuing. Remember, today I'm finishing this lesson, but it's not too long. Hopefully I can finish it around the same time I would normally finish. I don't want to skip too much. Okay. Seeing what others miss. This is a subheading. Seeing what others miss. As he climbed into his pickup truck outside his convenience store, Rich Dad said, keep working, boys, but the sooner you forget about needing a paycheck, the easier your adult life will be. Keep using your brain, work for free, and soon your mind will show you ways of making money far beyond what I could ever pay you. You'll see things that other people never see. Most people never see these opportunities because they are looking for money and security, so that's all they get. The moment you see one opportunity, you'll see them. The moment you see one opportunity, you'll see them for the rest of your life. The moment you do that, I'll teach you something else. Learn this, and you'll avoid one of life's biggest traps. Okay. Mike and I decided to read all of it this time. I'm not skipping. Mike and I picked up our things from the store. and waved goodbye to Mrs. Martin. Remember, Mrs. Martin was the manager in that store where they worked. We went back to the park, to the same picnic bench, and spent several more hours thinking and talking. You know, I decided to read this for a reason. I think he wrote it also for a reason. Why would 9-year-old boys go back to think, to sit where they had sat all these hours with Rich Dad teaching them these lessons? They went back and stayed, how long? And spent several more hours thinking and talking. We're wondering what they were talking about. And then he says, we spent the next week at school thinking and talking too. For 2 more weeks, we kept thinking, talking, and working for free. At the end of the second Saturday, something's about to happen, by the way. At the end of the second Saturday, I was again saying goodbye to Mrs. Martin and looking at the comic books, book stand with a longing gaze. Remember, he used to buy those comics when he was paid the 10 cents. Now he couldn't afford to get the comic books. That's why he's looking at them like wondering. Then the hard thing about not even getting 30 cents every Saturday was that I didn't have any money to buy comic books. Suddenly, as Mrs. Martin said goodbye to Mike and me, I saw her do something I've never seen her do before. Mrs. Martin was cutting the front page of the comic book in half. She kept the top half of the comic book cover and threw the rest of the book into a large cardboard box. When I asked her what she did with the comic books, she said, I threw them away. I gave the top half of the cover back to the comic book distributor for credit when he brings in the new comics. He's coming in an hour. Mike and I waited for an hour. Soon the distributor arrived, and I asked him if he could have the comic books. If we could have the comic books. To my delight, he said, you can have them if you work for this store and do not resell them. Remember our old business partnership? Well, Mike and I revived it. Using a spare room in Michael's basement, we began piling hundreds of comic books in that room. Soon our comic book library was open to the public. We hired Michael's younger sister, who loved to study, to be head librarian. She charged each child 10 cents admission to the library, which was open from 2:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. every day after school. The customers, the children of the neighborhood, could read as many comics as they wanted in 2 hours. It was a bargain for them since a comic cost 10 cents each, and they could read 5 or 6 in 2 hours. Mike's sister would check the kids as they left to make sure they were not borrowing any comic books. She also kept the books, logging in how many kids showed up each day, who they were, and any comments they might have. So Mike and I averaged $9.50 per week over a 3-month period. We paid his sister $1 every week and allowed her to read the comics for free, which she rarely did since she was always studying. Excuse me. Mike and I kept our agreement by working in the store every Saturday and collecting all the comic books from the different stores. We kept our agreement to the distributor by not selling comic books. We banned them once they got too tattered. We tried opening a branch office. They're coming, real business people. But we could never quite find someone as trustworthy, as dedicated as Michael's sister. At an early age, we found out how hard it was to find good stuff, good people, employees. Ask me about that. Okay, that's me. That's me now commenting on the getting good employees, because remember I have a cleaning company. I have the same issues. Okay, 3 months after the library first opened, a fight broke out in the room. Some bullies from another neighborhood pushed their way in, and Mike's dad suggested we shut down the business. So our comic book business shut down, and we stopped working on Saturdays at a convenience store. But Rich Dad was excited because he had new things he wanted to teach us. He was happy because we had learned our first lesson so well. We learned to make money work for us. By not getting paid for our work at a store, we were forced to use our imagination to identify an opportunity to make money. By starting our own business, the comic book library, we were in control of our own finances, not dependent on an employer. The best part was that our business generated money for us, even when we were not physically there. Our money worked for us. Instead of paying us money, Rich Dad had given us much more. I think, remember, they used to get just 30 cents every weekend. Now see how much they made. There is only one note. By the way, that's the end of lesson 1, chapter 1, with only one comment that Robert put right here that I'm about to read. He called it the power of imagination. In the information age and the age of the internet, millions of people under the age of 30 are getting rich using their imagination to create apps that change the world. From Facebook to Uber to Snapchat to others, those with imagination thrive, while those without it are still looking for a job that may soon be replaced by robots and technology. That's the end of chapter 1. Thank you for writing it with me. And let me give you just the name, the next lesson. When we start chapter 2, the lesson we are learning is why teach financial literacy. So, and he starts I'm just a sneak peek. It says, it's not how much money you make, it's how much money you keep. So that's where we'll start next time, and it will be number 18. Video number 18, we'll start chapter 2. Thank you so much. Suggest ways we could improve this. I feel like it's too slow. Can you imagine one chapter? We record, anyway, the first 2, I think, were not really about the book. I was introducing it. But still, that's a lot of time. So what I'm thinking, I think I should paraphrase more. What do you think? Leave a comment. Should I go the way I've been going? I think I'll have to skip something. Although these conversations were really, really great, I didn't want to skip them. That's why I kept going slowly. I think there's much we are learning. Okay, for those who are new here, please, I record videos, these kind of videos, every day. And you get to see them at 1 p.m. USA Eastern. You check Google to see what the equivalent of that, where you are. You search for 1 p.m. USA Eastern Time. That's where I am. And I upload them at around 1 p.m. They come out as premieres. So when you see a notification, click on it and see how long it's waiting before you can watch it. But I've been trying to be, if I'm a little bit something happening that it didn't come on time, I normally schedule it like at 1 o'clock, and then you see it at like 1:15. But around the 1 p.m. hour, we've been doing fairly okay. But on Friday, I don't have lessons. I have a live. I come live, please, especially this Friday. If you are people watching me after I just uploaded this, please, Friday, come support me. Come support the message I have here of 10,000 subscribers. Share these videos. Okay, I'm asking for support now. But the other thing I didn't mention is that on Thursdays and on Sundays, I have another schedule, which I used to have before I started reading books. 2 days a week I used to do YouTube tips, business tips, and motivation. YouTube tips, business tips come on Thursdays, and motivation comes on Sunday, and those come 30 minutes before the books, which is 12:30 p.m. USA Eastern Time. And for those of you who want to listen and be ahead of me, because I think this is slow, you can go listen to an audio. Audible will be free. Put a link in the description. You can click and go. Actually, I put on the website. If you go to honestsouls.com, it's up there. You just go to Amazon Deals. That's the page. It has Audible. You click on it, but make sure you choose. I think they call it Prime Plus, something like that. It's a little bit higher on the level. That's where you find this book. You just search for the title until it comes, and you have it free for 1 month. For those who want a real physical copy, it's still there on the same page on my website. At the bottom, I say suggested titles, Sherifa's suggested titles, and it's one of them. Okay, I think I've covered all that. The other thing, by end of Feb, we have to have a bigger community, or I'm not threatening, but I'm saying I'll not have the energy to record daily. I record daily, but I want to know that there are people that are really benefiting from it. So please invite your friends. Let's make it a bigger community. And I promise when we get to 50, I'm going to figure out a way to give you my password, because I have that premium account, the one that's higher level, where you can listen to any book you want. So I can pay for that if I know there are people who are going to benefit. I think I've covered everything. Please support my message of 10,000 subscribers. Invite others. I think I have a good message here. Okay? Remember to like and then leave a comment. What do you think? Should we get the way we are going? Should I paraphrase more? What do you think? Because the lessons are going. The lessons are continuing. And I'll need to hear what I need to change for you. By the way, I record these videos in the night. Like right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm recording right now. It's like I think coming to 4 a.m. in the morning. Like when you're going to watch these videos. So I mean, when you're going to watch, I record in the night, then I upload, and then you watch 1 p.m. US Eastern Time. Okay, like I always end these videos. Take very good care of yourself. Take very good care of your family. Take very good care of your health. Click like, leave a comment, take a step to a better you. Bye-bye.